All right, guys, it's your boy Larry Wills back to another episode of NBL Business, the podcast, where we're teaching entrepreneurs how to turn business credit into passive income. All right, so it's Saturday morning here. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And yesterday, I had my last team meeting right before we launched this thing to the world to bring everybody on the same page. And so one of the things that's happening in our company right now, and this is for people who's already made six figures in their company and they're trying to break the $1 million mark. Okay, this is pretty much at that stage is where we're at right now. You know, we've been running our company for about 5 or 6 years. We're like $500,000 a year, and we don't, well, you know, with all of my entities combined, and I couldn't get it past the mark. We couldn't get it past the mark, and so what happened? We shut down that company. And then we started building what we're building now, right? And one of the things that I seen that was keeping me stuck was the foundation. Like a lot of beginners, a lot of people, we don't have a solid foundation when we get online. And so when we get online, we hustle, we try to, you know, buy products of discovery and try to, you know, learn tactics. And we try to do all of these things that leads ultimately into frustration and overwhelm. A dead end, if you would, right? And so I come to realize, like, those things, that's the reality of the entrepreneur that's trying to build a business. That's the reality behind it, right? Unless you actually attend an Ivy League school, you spend over $375,000, then you're not going to be privy to the business professional world of information. And those are the formulas and the patterns that actually helps companies grow. And if you never see or you don't understand that process, then how can you be one of those companies that grow? Okay, every single company that I've ever seen in existence that's making billions of dollars has an HR department, has a payroll team, they have a sales team, they have a marketing division, right? And we as entrepreneurs, as beginners, we come online and we have to play all those parts, wear all of those hats, and it leaves us stuck, it leaves us confused, it leaves us frustrated, but most importantly, it leaves us disappointed because the story that we were told before we became an entrepreneur versus the story that the reality as we are an entrepreneur, it just doesn't match up, right? And so how do you fix it? Well, the first thing you have to do in order to fix it, I'm going to tell you how to fix it right now, so pay attention, because this is the point, or this is the part where everybody stays overwhelmed because they don't understand the process of becoming a successful business owner, entrepreneur, chairman, whatever you want to call it, right? How do you reach your success point? Well, the first thing that you must understand is that there are 3 individuals operating inside of you simultaneously at the same time. Okay, and what I'm getting ready to tell you, if you are at the six-figure mark, trying to break the $1 million hump, this will help you do it. This will help you put in perspective the way that your workload is supposed to go throughout the day, the activities that you're supposed to be performing at each stage, at each level, to keep your income growing. Okay, and so I'm going to go a little bit deep here on the stage that you're currently in, because you have to understand this stage, all right? But I'm going to tell you about all 3 stages. But the reason we stay stuck is because there are 3 people operating inside of us at the same time. One of those people is your entrepreneur, okay? Your entrepreneur is your visionary. This is the person that's inside of you. You know that, like, if you think about yourself in the future, like you think about how your life would look, there's a person in your future that's standing all the way out there, right? And you can see him, you can see her, you can see this person being the pinnacle of your success. Exactly the depiction of how your life looks. Exactly when you reach that point. Okay. Well, what you need to do is you need to bring that person here now and help, because you're going to use them to help you become, or help your company become what you want it to be. You are not the person to make that happen right now, but I'm ready to help you become him, okay, or become her. So there's 3 people operating inside of you. The first person is your entrepreneur. This is your visionary. The second person is your manager, right? The manager is the person that actually puts together all of the processes. They order They organize the order of operations inside your business. Okay. And then there's your technician. The technician is the person that just takes the orders, go do the work. But more importantly, this is the person that make the income keep coming in. Okay. This is the person that gets you through the hump. All right. So if you're at $100,000, $300,000, or if you even haven't even reached that point, let's just say, for instance, you haven't even reached that point, right? So this is for everybody who hasn't made like $1 million yet, okay? If you're at $100,000, you're battling with your entrepreneur. If you're not at $100,000, you haven't even figured this process out, okay? Let me explain. Your entrepreneur is the one that's telling is all right. So if you're building a company, right, you're either going to be building a product inside of a company or you're going to be building the entire company. A lot of people just try to start with a small idea, and then they want to take this idea, it starts to grow, and then they want to keep adding on to the idea to make it a huge success. You're working against yourself, because if you'd have started with the big idea first, then you would have already been building each component to the big success, but you started too small. So first off, you have to let your entrepreneur think bigger. And I always give my team the example of as if it's we're building a car, right? So I say, if you're building a tire, what materials do you need? You need steel, you need rubber, that's about it. You need a hubcap or a rim, right? That's about it. And you can build a tire, right? But if you're building a car, okay, what materials do you need? Think about all the materials you need, right? That the collection of things that you need in order to assemble a car is much better than, is more parts than if you were just to build a tire. You see? So if you think about the car, you're going to end up with 4 tires and an engine that goes fast. But if you're just building the tire, then you're just building the tire. So your entrepreneur and you must think bigger. So are you in a network marketing company, or are you trying to learn how to get leads for network marketers? You see what I'm saying? If you're in a network marketing company, then you're out here recruiting people, trying to put them in your company. But if you're becoming expert at getting leads for network marketers, then every network marketer on the planet will want to be on your team, because that's the struggle that network marketers have. Does that make sense? Okay. If you're a wedding planner, then you out here planning weddings, right? But if you specialize in luxurious weddings for broke people, what? Now every broke person that cannot afford will come to you, because they know that you make luxurious weddings happen for broke people. You see what I'm saying? So if you specialize, you broaden your market, but you're thinking about a bigger idea, okay? And it can be on any side of the quadrant. The way that you think about your business is exactly what your business will be. The way that you think about your business is exactly what your business will be. So the first off, get a hold of your entrepreneur. Make him think bigger, okay? Now, once he got this big thought, it's not your manager time to come into play. It's not the time for your manager to come and play and say, hey, I'm going to be building capture pages, and we're going to be putting autoresponders together, and we're going to be doing all of these things, because that's just foolish. There's no reason for that to happen right now, because you don't manually understand the operations of your company right now, okay? And so when your entrepreneur give you the idea, go tell him, sit in the corner. Your entrepreneur will fight you forever to keep trying to bring more ideas and more ideas and more ideas to the table. No, let's not do that. Let's put our manager aside. Okay, we don't need him to build anything right now. What we need to happen is we need our technician to go out and get this money coming in. Go out and make some sales for us. Okay, now how do your technician do that? Well, the first thing that your technician must do, or your manager or your entrepreneur, right? All three of you, you must come together and put together a valuable offer, a valid offer that people will want inside the marketplace, right? That's going to be your entry into the company. When somebody enter your company, then what else do you give them, right? So if you own an e-commerce store and you're selling jewelry, or you're selling like clothes, or you're selling anything that you would find on like an e-commerce site, right? Items, survival gear, I don't care what it is. If you own an e-commerce store, what is the biggest thing that you can do different than every e-commerce store out there? Like, what can you do different? What do you give your customers that no one else does? Right? It can be anything. Okay, it could be, and let's act like you're in retail. It could be anything, right? So what would your offer be? Let me give you an example, just real quick, so that you guys can get this thought together, right? The example would be if I own a store, if I owned an e-commerce store, and let's say, for instance, I'm selling, I don't care what it is. Let's say, for instance, I'm selling survival knives, right? Like the Swiss Army knife, okay? Or if I'm in retail and I'm selling, like, a bunch of items that people come into a retail location and get. It could be all types of items in there, like a convenience store, like a Walmart. You can find t-shirts. You can also find deodorant. You know what I'm saying? So it could be anything. And if I had that store, for every person that bought an item from me, you instantly had the option to get this item again next month on an auto ship. So if you came in my store, you bought a pair of $12.99 socks, I would say, hey, these socks go for $12.99, but if you get on my auto ship program for $9.99 a month, then I'm going to send you this pack of socks, $3 savings every single month. So that way you ain't never got to worry about buying socks again. And it's only $9.99. So imagine if everybody came in your store, you trained your technicians at the front, the cashiers at the front, you trained them to say that spill every single time. Can you imagine how many $9.99 payments that you would get just for having that offer? Now you are the different convenience store in the city, because now you have a continuity program on every single item in your store, and no one else has that. Does it make sense, guys? So you got to, first off, create an offer to make your company stand out. Now, once you have this offer standing out, then you can have your technician go out in the field and crush it. Go recruit every single person into your business versus buying from everyone else. Does that make sense, guys? And then you put your entrepreneurs to the side, you put your manager up, and you say, okay, technician, how can we go out here and get this money? How can we go out here and make these offers and get these people? Okay? And so as a technician, there's 3 skill sets that your technician need. The first skill set is that you need to know how to get leads. Go to Google, how do I get leads? How to collect leads? How to make leads come into my company? That's the first thing. If you don't know how to get leads, then that means that you don't know how to put eyeballs in front of your company. So your technician need to know how to get leads, because if your technician can get you leads to that offer, that's wonderful. Then people going to see the offer and they're going to automatically want to get it. Okay. But if you don't have any people looking at your eyeball, looking at your stuff, if you don't have any eyeballs on your company, how can they know that you exist? All right. So it's very important in that aspect, guys. All right. So if we do the work of a technician, get leads, put that offer in front of leads, you're going to always make money. That activity can ramp up. Once you get it manually, then you can go ahead and hire a marketing firm. Don't come and try to be your marketing firm. Don't go try to learn marketing. What are you doing that for? If your technician have just made you $6,000 in a week because you got a $100 offer and he made 60 people come into your company, right? Then take that money and put it into a person's hand that geeks out on getting yourself leads, right? Why would you want to do that? You're wasting time when you try to go geek out and find out, how do I use an algorithm, or how do I use the Facebook pixel, or how do I do these things? That's a waste of time, because you are not an expert in that category. You just spent 26 months trying to build it off as a technician. Now you're going to take your entrepreneur, you're going to tell you, okay, technician, go stop doing that and go try to figure out Facebook ads. So you're running your technician around rabbit, looking for him trying to discover how to do stuff, when if you just create yourself a valid offer, find yourself a perfect audience to put it in, right? And then learn how to get some leads to that offer so you can test if it's effective. And if it's effective, put it out to the marketplace for everybody else to see. You understand what I'm saying? And then once that happened, take the money you made, go hire yourself some type of marketing firm. If you need a firm, come to Adlin. We have our own firm. And then that way you can explode your company. But your revenue will be consistent and it'll be predictable if you do it that way. All right. So we teach all of this inside of my company, guys, because we're just breaking the chains. We're teaching entrepreneurs how to start and profit, and then do the right process to go forward. This is your boy, Larry Wills. Tune in next week for another episode. Peace.